Do you really think you're in control of your life? The truth is, we're trapped in a rotten system where every aspect of our existence is manipulated and drained down to the last thread of dignity. The world is crumbling, and you feel it. The anxiety, frustration, emptiness, all of this reflects a system that's dying and dragging you down with it. But will you just stand there watching everything fall apart, doing nothing? In this video, I'll show you why the chaos we're living through is inevitable, necessary, and how it may be your only chance to break free once and for all. The destruction of corrupt institutions is the necessary chaos we need to face. Have you noticed how corporations and governments exist solely to drain our energy and labor? They do this with one goal in mind, enriching a small elite while the rest of society drags itself through life. The collapse we are experiencing is nature's direct response to this rampant exploitation. There's no future with these rotting structures in power. These foundations of decay must fall completely for a new system, based on respect for life and humanity, to emerge. You can't rebuild on a foundation that was broken from the start. The question is, are you ready for this? Are you prepared to see what's true and fight to create something new? Look at the first pinned comment because it holds the path to start this change in your life. Can you handle the truth even when it hurts? We are in an era where the raw, naked truth is coming to light. The lies we were taught to accept about politics, the economy, society, even about who we are dissolving. And yes, it's uncomfortable. The current system depends on our ignorance to survive, manipulating our minds with false narratives so that we stay obedient. Now is the time to open your eyes. See beyond what we've been told. Ask yourself, who is really in control? Why do you accept the half-truths handed to you? This is a painful journey, but it's liberating. Once you start seeing beyond the veil, nothing will ever be the same. Seeing reality is the first step to creating a new one, and the path is right there. You just have to notice. The global economic system is collapsing before our eyes, and it's no coincidence. Predatory capitalism has always been a ticking time bomb, fueled by exploitation, inequality, and rampant consumption. Now, what's left are the ruins of a model that never truly worked. The elites keep sucking the last drops of life from a dying planet, while the masses are lost, trapped in debt and despair. Can you see it? Do you feel that weight on your shoulders? This isn't a temporary crisis. It's the end of a broken cycle. The only way forward is to abandon this failed system and rebuild something that truly values humanity. The future belongs to those brave enough to break the cycle. Comment below if you've ever felt this anguish. I know you've been through it. Ecological collapse isn't a question of if, but when. You're watching the world burn, literally, while industries and governments deny reality. The planet is bleeding, screaming for help, and as long as we treat Earth as an unlimited resource, we're digging our own graves. This isn't about small adjustments here and there. The change needs to be radical. The time for surface-level conversations is over, and the awakening must happen now. Are you part of this revolution, or will you continue to close your eyes? The decision is in your hands, and it has to be fast because the planet won't wait. If you're not part of this change yet, subscribe to the channel to stay informed and be an active part of this fight for life. The awakening is real, and it starts with your decision to act. Have you ever stopped to think about how we're being manipulated on a scale we can't even comprehend? Social control technologies are imprisoning us in ways almost imperceptible. Mass surveillance, personal data collection, algorithms shaping our behaviors, all of this is being used to keep us alienated and submissive to a system that wants to control every step we take. If you think you still have privacy or full freedom, you're fooling yourself. We are slaves to an invisible mechanism where our very minds are controlled without us realizing it. The internet, once a promise of liberation, has become a sophisticated prison. Awakening means recognizing that we are being used as pawns in a game we're not even playing. It's no longer a question of if, but when, you will realize that the fight against this invisible control is yours too. The traditional family, as we know it, is disintegrating, and it's necessary. For too long, family relationships have been shaped around oppressive hierarchies, where respect was confused with submission, and love was conditioned on fulfilling predetermined roles. But those times are ending. The old structures are breaking down to make way for something more authentic, where respect and compassion reign, not control. Genuine relationships based on understanding and empathy are emerging, and any trace of patriarchy needs to be destroyed. If you've ever felt suffocated, pressured, or judged within your own home, know that you're not alone. Have you gone through this? Have you felt this weight? Comment below, because the future of family is one that liberates and embraces, not one that imprisons and destroys the soul. There's an invisible war being waged against the human spirit. Spirituality, which should be one of the pillars of our existence, is being ridiculed and suppressed by a system that prefers we stay trapped in materialism. This isn't by chance. The further we drift from our spiritual side, the more controllable we become, the more we surrender to the consumerist void. Spiritual awakening is a direct threat to the status quo because it challenges the cult of ego and material power. The real revolution starts within us, and that's exactly what the system wants to stop. But you don't have to stay in this cycle. The path to awakening is within your reach, and it starts when you stop looking only outward and begin looking inward. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey and transform your life, because the awakened spirit is the greatest act of resistance. The awakening of oppressed minorities is one of the biggest signs of this global transformation. For too long, the voices of indigenous people, black people, women, and LGBTQIA+ individuals were silenced, ignored, crushed by a system that feeds on oppression. But that's changing. These voices are rising, screaming with a force the world has never seen. And this isn't just about social justice, it's about the survival of humanity as a whole. These minorities, systematically pushed to the margins, are now at the forefront of the new world that's emerging. They're carrying the burden of transformation, and it's impossible to ignore. Are you listening to these voices? Are you joining them? Or do you remain oblivious to the revolution happening right before your eyes? The choice is yours, but know that the future belongs to them. Humanity's collective ego is dying, and it's something we need to confront head-on. For too long, we were conditioned to believe that success, power, and status were the pinnacle of existence. But the truth is, these ego-based values are crumbling, and what remains when the ego dies? Vulnerability, fear of the unknown, but also the potential for a new era based on compassion and interconnection. We are living this transition now, and it's not smooth. It's painful, it's chaotic, but it's necessary. Have you ever felt lost, directionless, as if what once made sense is now empty? Comment below, because you're not alone. The ego needs to die for something greater to be reborn, and that's what we're experiencing as humanity. What comes next depends on how we face this death.